Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12 is a well-known verse that describes the spiritual warfare Christians believe they face, highlighting that their struggle isn't against people, but against dark spiritual forces. The verse reads, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Now, most people think when it says against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness, they think that it's something intangible, it's something unseen, it's something just perceived as spirits. But they are really physical people or physical powers or governments or institutions that really shape the way the rest of the world perceives, lives, or even performs their day-to-day activities. Let's break this down and examine what each of these entities could mean, including examples to help make the verse clearer into contemporary context. Now, principalities, the definition is generally refers to ranks of spiritual beings or angels, but fallen ones, those that rebel against God and work against his purposes. In our world, these could represent strange systems of evil that seem to be above human control. For example, the pervasive influence of organized crime in certain societies, which is often too complex and deeply rooted to be overcome by mere human effort. This principality could be understood as a strong, almost immovable force of evil. An example of such a principality could be a corrupt political systems or oppressive regimes that suppress people's freedoms and rights. Could also be considered modern manifestations of principalities as they operate beyond the power of individuals to dismantle alone. Number two, powers. These could be forces or entities that exercise control, particularly over societal or moral issues, steering them away from righteousness. This can be seen as influences that sway people's thoughts, values, and actions, such as large media corporations or digital platforms that control information, and can spread narratives that encourage divisiveness, fear, or unhealthy values. Might be considered as a power. The influence they exert can shape public thought and behavior on a large scale. Certain cultural movements can be used as example, or ideologies that seem to pressure individuals to conform to ideas against their beliefs or values that represent these powers. For example, materialism as a dominating value in some societies can shift priorities toward wealth at the expense of integrity or empathy. Number three, rulers of darkness of this world. This phrase often refers to spiritual beings that propagate evil in the earthly realm. It can include any leaders or influencers who actively spread or normalize immoral or harmful behavior. In popular culture, celebrities who glamorize substance abuse, violence, or degrading behavior may unintentionally or intentionally contribute to a culture of darkness. They will influence over young minds and can affect their choices, often leading to negative consequences. This might also refer to figures who exploit vulnerable groups for personal gain, such as leaders of human trafficking rings or influential individuals in criminal organizations. They operate in darkness, often unseen, but their influence has a tangible, devastating impact. And on spiritual wickedness in high places, these suggest malevolent forces that exist in the spiritual realm but hold significant sway over people, possibly infiltrating the minds and hearts of influential leaders or groups. This can be seen in forces or ideologies that corrupt moral guidance systems or target those in positions of authority, such as cases where leaders of religious or social movements have been involved in scandals, abusing the authority to mislead followers. These instances can be seen as spiritual wickedness in high places when they betray a position intended to promote good and exploit it for selfish or harmful purposes. In broader sense, ideological warfare that promotes hatred, conflict, or division could also be seen as this type of spiritual influence. High places can signify governments or institutions where such divisive ideologies can gain a foothold and harm societies at large. So this verse serves as a reminder that a Christian spiritual battle is not merely against human adversaries, but against entrenched, pervasive forms of evil that can often be seen beyond human control. It calls believers to understand that while they may face challenges in the spiritual world or the physical world, there is a deeper spiritual struggle against forces that shape actions, beliefs, and systems that oppose God's ways. In a practical sense, this verse encourages vigilance and reliance on spiritual resources like prayer, faith, and the guidance of the Holy Spirit to stand firm against these invisible enemies. This perspective helps believers approach challenges with both humility and resilience, recognizing that some issues require more than just human strength to overcome.